This is Mork looking up from Australia at the sky. We've been watching South Australia, Adelaide, a weather camera for a little while now, and here we can see the time between 5:50 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. We've got beautiful clear skies on Saturday, March 18, and we've got the sun setting, as we can clearly see behind the trees. And I've opened up with a still shot which is showing the object, which we can see. I've got my cursor going around it here in the middle of the screen at the right hand side, and there's a little dot just in front of it. I've been watching this thing settling for the last few weeks, and it's the first time we've seen this dot in clear vision in front of it, and I'd like to share it with you. So I'm going to go back one shot and back another shot, and you can see that the dot has gone and the object is clear and round. I'll go forward with one shot. These shots are 1 minute apart, and the dot has gone clearly in front of the object. The shadow has made the object look smaller, and then the dot passes across through the top of the object, top right hand side of the object, and after a short period of time the object becomes round again. That indicates to me that the object is behind or on the other side of the sun, and we've probably seen a moon travelling across the face of it, or another thing travelling across the face of it. I'm just going to run that backwards again, slow motion for you, so you can see what's happening. It gets smaller again. I'll increase the size of it actually so that you can get a much better look at it. It's quite interesting in the larger scene. So I'll go backwards, and you can see that as it starts to set in, as the sun and this object following the sun starts to set in the west, it comes past, and all of a sudden at the bottom of the object it gets out of shape, more or less in the center of it, and then this dot or this shadow goes across it, which is quite big, and then afterwards still distorts the entire image, and then it travels around the back of it or disappears or does something or other. We can't tell with just the naked eye, and then the object becomes round again, and then it continues on its path. It's quite incredible to watch, and it was difficult to find watching it at normal speed, which I'm now going to just open this up again. Here on the left hand side is, people call them sun dogs, I call them lens flare. That seems to follow. Actually, our little planet or whatever it is has got its own lens flare sitting up here on the top right hand side, and the sun sitting down between the trees here. I'm going to start this sequence for you, and you can see it in sort of real time. The sun's now coming down. You can see how bright it is. It's incredibly bright. And then when that moon or whatever it is goes around it, boom, amazing. And then it seems to set into the shadow of something or other. I'm just going to restart this time lapse so that we can see the sun actually set down into the trees, and we can see it's just about to go bang. That thing goes right across it. The sun dog follows it. Sun dog goes out, and the object vanishes. So it's a beautiful clear day. Let's go ahead and let's have a look on Friday. Was a clear day as well, and I've changed it now to Friday the 17th. We can watch this thing come down. Interestingly, it doesn't have the same, I'm going to just open this up as it goes down so we'll follow it. It doesn't have the same thing come across it. So I didn't see it yesterday, and it disappears. So it didn't get that moon traverse across it or whatever it is. Then we do it again on Thursday. The thing I like about the Thursday sequences here are that our friend the star or whatever it is, I'm just going to stop this now and go frame by frame. So we can see that this thing, I'll go forward, sorry guys, disappears behind clouds. Right, so the thicker clouds actually make it disappear. It's in there somewhere. Behind the clouds, we go forward. It comes through the clouds, which are then lighter. Bear in mind this is 1 minute apart each shot. The lighter clouds seems to shine through. Then it goes through a heavier cloud. We go forward again. A couple of birds down here. The sun itself is getting hidden by the clouds, and we'll keep going, and out it pops again. So you can see it partly covered by clouds. I've been watching this thing for a little while now, and you know, maybe in this particular shot, maybe it's got some sort of something going across it, but it's hard to tell because of the clouds, and so I'm not convinced that's got that moon type object going across it, like we saw on the clear day today. And if we keep going forward, we start to see it coming out from behind the clouds there. It's very small, becomes larger, manages to stay in front of some of the lighter clouds like that, and continues through into the clear day. We don't get to, oh hang on, back, what was that? There we go. Well, maybe we've got part of one of those moony things going across it there now. If this is Nibiru or Planet X, it's supposed to have 4 moons, so you'd expect you'd expect one or more of these things to be traversing, whipping around it somewhere along the line. The one that we saw happening today on Saturday was really large, or really clear. And there we have it disappearing into the shadow. I wonder if that's a little moon there. You never know. We go back. Kind of hard to see what's going on there. Maybe that's similar to what we saw before. I'm just moving across so I can get to my controls. And then it disappears off into the shadow of the sun, and it's finally gone. And if I just play that on its fast sequence, so that we can see it coming through. I'll try and slow this down for us all so that you can get a clearer view of it disappearing behind the clouds. This will start again in a second. Hang in there. So here we go. Sun coming down. Object, planet, whatever it is, it's behind the sun clearly because the moon is managing to shadow it. Disappearing in and out of the clouds, just like the sun is there. And the thickness of the clouds, hard to gauge which is a thick cloud and a thin cloud from this angle. Looked as though it had something go in front of it there, and then it disappears with a bit of a hiccup as it goes through there, and the sun set beautifully in the west there. And the sun is setting exactly where it should be, according to all the diagrams that I've seen. Now, if we have a look, just to make sure that we're not looking at any crazy objects out there, I'll just refresh this page. So this is a 3D diagram from inthesky.org, which is showing here, if I go face on view, so this is now showing where the Earth is here, clearly. Venus is on the left-hand side of the sun, if that line is to be believed, and what we saw was that object on the right-hand side of the sun, which means that there's no planet or anything that's there to be able to intercede and get in the way of that. So it's a mysterious object, so it's not on any map that we can see as such. I have gone ahead and projected this one step further by doing some drawings, and if I turn my tablet the other way round, I've made some comments here from where we can see it. I've drawn a line between Earth, the Sun, and off further into the solar system. The planet, or whatever that we're seeing there, is on the right hand side of the Sun. What we can see is the Sun sets. The object is clearly above the Sun, It is obviously behind the sun, because whatever went in front of it cast a shadow, which can only be from the sun. And if you estimate the distance between when the sun set and above the horizon where the sun set, and the travelling speed of both items, the sun and the dot, it's clearly somewhere not too far away, somewhere between the sun, my guess, and Earth's orbit. And if we go to the next page, which is a little summary I did by running the time forward to July, showing where the Earth will be, where the Sun will be, where Mercury will be, and Venus on the 24th of July. If that dot stays where it is, and if this object that we're looking at is crossing the ecliptic of our solar system, in other words the flat plane, and it's coming from above down, then it's going to be somewhere, in my guess, between the Earth and the Moon, between the Earth and the Sun, and that's, you know, that's as it's been rumoured around the place, you know, we're probably going to get a much better view of it in July. What that means for us all, I've got absolutely no idea. But anyway, that's me being with a little bit of conjecture. Having a look at all of that, you might want to take that a little bit further, but certainly it needs somebody who's a lot more expert than I am to be able to look at this and make some better judgment. But my guess is, if we're looking at this with the naked eye, it's not that far away. It's big, and it does seem to give some credibility to all the hoo-ha that's going around on YouTube and the internet and all that sort of stuff, and I'm starting to believe what I'm looking at now. Anyway, thank you very much for that, and I'll sign off now and get this posted.